Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to review headlines of today's newspapers, and of course, starting with this day.
This day, on Saturday, we've got a little time, so we'll quickly go through it. Let's start from the top. The window story says, Cardoso takes oath, assumes office as acting CBN governor. Apex Bank says Emefiele and 4 deputy governors have resigned. At 995 naira to $1, naira gains at parallel market, slightly declines at I&E window. I mean, interesting. Well, I mean, let's see what Dr. Cardoso will do at CBN. CBN is saying that the man who's been tried, who is incommunicado, has resigned, and all the deputy governors have resigned. Isn't that interesting? But here we are. Cardoso will take over first as acting governor, and then by the time he's confirmed by the Senate, we'll have a new team, totally new team of the new CBN governor and his deputies.
They have their work cut out for them, so they need to get straight to it.
Absolutely. We floated the naira. Let's see how he's going to deal with the issue of 750-something naira at the I&E window, and then almost 1,000 naira at the parallel market. So what's the point of all these policies that, that we are claiming that, we've done? But that's CBN's to deal with. Under that, troops bust gun factory in Kaduna State, recover weapons, combat gears. That's on page 5 of today's this day. If you tie that to another story, yet another story on page 5, terrorists abduct scores of varsity students in Zamfara. My point is that the question of terrorism, insecurity, and banditry hasn't gone down, and I think that it deserves a lot more attention from the government. When I see Nuhu Ribadu, the advisor to the president on the national security advisor, following the president about, to Dubai, to all those places, I'm like, you've got job to do back home. Hey, what's happening? That he's traveling with the president. But this has still early days. The issues are there. A good one, and that troops are busting gun factories, but not a good one in Zamfara, where issues of terrorism is still on the front border. The lead story says Shettima, Tinubu remains committed to safeguarding Nigeria's democracy. The rider says president unwavering on entrenching democratic ideals and values through partnership with other arms of government. And last but not the least, federal government raises salaries of federal tertiary institutions lecturers at 35% on page 6. You will find it on page 6. The editor should watch this type of promo very well, not on page 8, but on page 6. 35% and 23%. ASU is already kicking, saying that that's not the agreement with the federal government. But the government will start from somewhere, and we hope that ultimately the entire public service workforce will have a new pay structure that can deal with the level of inflation that every Nigerian is confronting. Shall we go to The Guardian?
Of course, the cover story there, a lead story there, the aftermath of Mohbad's death. Record labels, not toxic enclaves or torture chambers. I mean, this particular story has opened up quite a can of worms when it comes to the underbelly of the music industry. What is supposed to be, when we're looking at that report that Ekena Kingsley have put out about is, you could hear Ubi Franklin, who is a popular record label owner, saying that this particular situation had opened his eyes to really looking as to how the kind of contracts that they sign with their signees, and making sure that outside of even the work that is done, their mental health, their physical health, everything else is done properly. I'm seeing a picture of Rolake Akinkugbe Filani, our own Rolake, of course. She does Business Week here on Arise News.
She's coming on in a few minutes.
Yes, in a few minutes. Financial education is key to eliminating gender wealth disparities. No lie told there. Then on just right beside that story, the closure of the RTEAN offices. TUC holds protest on Monday and threatens strike. Very interesting development, seeing as TUC APC had pulled out from the former strike that the NLC had put together on there. Time to take one more story?
Okay,
one more paper.
Vanguard, Saturday Vanguard, very quickly. Mohbad is still also on the cover. A star born after death. That's the title of an interesting article in today's Vanguard. Did his unreleased songs foretell his death? I think that's important. And of course, the lead story in Vanguard says how Tinubu killed in quotes, Yoruba nation agitation. And this is not about Sunday Igboho or anything like that. I think, it's a feature story, an amalgam of different views on how Tinubu, as a Yoruba man, imagine at this point as the president and not doing too badly, seems to have killed the need to say that let the Yorubas, go away from Nigeria. I think that's a smart headline casting there, and in quote. You've got any other thing? No?
I mean, the Nation, this has been a very interesting story to take. In Nigeria.
In the Nation?
On the Nation, but there's no time. Okay.
All right, then. That brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching, and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde.
And I am Sheiton Atigari. From our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria, enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.
Bye.